the mascot. That's all those people are there?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm now going to call to order the Town Board Agenda meeting for September 9th, 2020. We are going to begin with Finance and General Government Committee items, and we will begin with Comptroller Alam.
Okay, so you want me to, I'm sorry, this is my first one. You just want me to go over that?
Just the first 4 items, and then we're going to switch to Alexis Kim for the last 3.
Okay, thank you. So we are asking to make a resolution making certain budgetary modification that we discussed in our Finance Committee meeting. You want me to go over those?
Only if there are any questions. Otherwise, you can proceed to the next point.
Okay, thank you. We also talked about, it's just a household item, a resolution establishing the salary for the confidential secretary to the comptroller. So it's just that she was working as the interim comptroller, so we are just reverting her back with many thanks to her to the original salary. Also a resolution appointing a front desk clerk for the town hall. Any questions about that? And the 4th one is a resolution adopting the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, expanded family and medical leave policy for the town of Niskayuna, and amending resolution 2020-93. And I think that is Alexis there. She can maybe further expand that a little bit.
Great, thank you so much, Ismat.
You're welcome.
Alexis, are you on the call? Well, while we're waiting for Alexis to join, we'll come back to her for items 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
Those are just tentative items, so I'll leave that to her to explain those. We will move on to Highway, Parks, and Recreation Committee items. We'll begin with Ray Smith.
Yes, number 8 is a resolution to permanently appoint a grounds worker. This is one of the workers who has completed their 1-year probationary period, and it is my recommendation that we keep them on. And then Yasmin, I believe Alexis can talk to the next few for me.
Okay, for the license agreements?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Sure,
you.
we'll turn it over to Alexis. Thank you so much, Ray Smith.
Thank you.
So Alexis, we jumped ahead a little bit, but you can continue with the Highway, Parks, and Rec Committee items, and then we'll go back to the finance agenda items.
Okay, so I'm assuming we're on item 9 then, a license agreement with Gags Basketball. So that's a proposed short-term license agreement commencing Sunday, September 12th and continuing through the first weekend in October for use of the basketball courts at Blatnick, just from I think 9 a.m. to noon. It would be, a license agreement similar in structure and in fee to the one that we entered into for Avon Crest Park. So that's the one that's on the agenda that would require retroactive resolution because the term of it commences September 12th. The second, so this one, so item 10 that went through Police and Public Safety Committee in July of 2020. We obtained a second quote to make sure that, well, not second, updated quote because the quote had expired by the time it had been reached the Highway, Parks, and Rec Committee for review and a recommendation. Both committees have subsequently recommended the town board award the contracts to TBS. Hey, Taylor. And this is with regards to the system upgrades at the town hall and the Niskayuna Police Department. And then Lori, I don't know if you want to jump in for 11. All right.
Oh, sure. Number 11 is a resolution appointing van drivers for the senior center. We were lucky enough to have 4 qualified candidates. So we'd like to put all 4 on the resolution, 1 being the main bus driver and the other 3 being subs in case the main bus driver is unable to work that day. And number 12 is a ceremonial resolution honoring 2 senior center employees, 1 being Ken and the other being Anne, both of which are going to be retiring. So I didn't know if we wanted to do this while we're still doing live presentation or Zoom presentations, or wait until we can do a live one in the boardroom. Totally up to you guys. I'm could go either way. So this is whatever.
Yeah,
Thanks.
whatever you think he would prefer.
You
Whatever.
know, I'm thinking in person would be better, but I don't know when that's going to be.
Let's wait and see if maybe the end of this month we do a live one, and if not, then we can make a decision. Yeah, I understand you don't want to push it off too much, right?
Exactly, right. Okay,
So-
great. Thank you. And Alexis, are you 13?
Yep. So this one, this is just the annual license agreement with Niskuna Lacrosse. I kept it on there for use of Avon Crest Park. I need to send over a proposed draft, but this is agreement that I understand the town has entered into the past several years. I understand that Niskuna Lacrosse, due to COVID and changes in their schedule, won't be using the premises as frequently as they would have in prior years, meaning it's not going to be Monday through Sunday unlimited access. It would probably just be 2 days a week. And they don't need to put porta potties this year, so it's not because they're not expecting to do tournaments. So 14 is Clark jumping in for Laura. Is Laura on this meeting? I know she's on vacation this week.
I'm here.
Oh, hey, Laura. Oh, you're here.
Hello.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Laura, take it away.
Okay, number 14 is a resolution enacting a local law amending Chapter 220 entitled Zoning of the Code of the Town of Niskuna. These are simple code amendments being considered by the Town Board and Planning Board to limit placement of vaping in marijuana shops, adding a permit requirement for non-visible fencing, and adding EV-ready parking spaces, among some other things. The changes are posted to both boards' websites under the News and Announcements tab. I can't actually see anybody, so just jump in if you have questions. Number 15 is a resolution enacting a local law amending the code of the town of Niskuna by inserting Chapter 82 entitled Regulations of Chickens. We've been doing some final adjustments to this code. We had some robust discussion at the EDHBEC meeting, but we're expecting to have a final draft ready for the end of September with a potential enactment date November 1st. Number 16 is a resolution authoring that should be authorizing an engineering service agreement with Barton and the Judas for River Road Park upgrades. We talked about this at the EDHP meeting as well. There's additional engineering required for bidding services, preparation of a SWIP, and construction inspection. The addition is $24,000, but that does save a lot of work on us and helps that project move forward at a better pace. Number 17 is a resolution establishing a pesticide-free pledge program for the town of Niskuna. The CAC has been working on this for a pretty long time, and it would be a free pledge that residents could take to pledging to eliminate pesticide use on their lawn. And in exchange, we would provide them with a pesticide-free neighborhood lawn sign. It's modeled off the successful Cornell Cooperative Program to achieve voluntary reduction in pesticide use. And so that's going to benefit both people's lawns and the stormwater system in our town. Number 18 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into engineering professional design agreements for certain streets adjacent to Knott Street Improvement Project. This resolution is tentative, but I'm going to try and put out a quick RFP and have a proposal ready to get working on the streets adjacent to the co-op. Most notably Clifton Park and Crescent Alleyway intersection. Based on the quote that we got before, these engineering services will likely be in the range of $8,000 to $12,000. But we're trying to get as much kind of synergy as we can going with the county so that construction will be cheaper and we can make those improvements at the same time. Number 19 is a resolution appointing a member to the Tree Council. His name is Jonathan Marr. He submitted his resume to the town for consideration. Looks very, very qualified. We lost Steve Signell. He moved to Vermont, so we could definitely use the manpower, and we're looking forward to welcoming him in September. And then number 20 is a resolution establishing the Niskuna Town Register of Historic Places and the Niskuna Historical Plaque Program. And this resolution was put forth by the town historian, Dennis Brennan. It would not restrict building permits for historical homes in any way, but it will create an updated register of historical homes, which we can work off of. It will help planning board a lot, and it'll offer them recognition, offer people who own these homes recognition in hopes that we'll be achieving and recognizing voluntary preservation efforts in the town of Niskuna through these decorative plaques. So Lots going on. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Laura, Dr. Brennan had reached out to me about this resolution requesting that it be on the agenda for the end of the month. Do you think that it would be better suited to be two separate resolutions because one has a funding? I mean, I'm assuming that the plaque one we had.
I lost the
Sorry,
end of what
Taylor
you were
just
saying,
hit
but
me
I
up.
was gonna say I do think it would
Yeah.
be better to do it as two separate resolutions because potentially we'd be pointing things to the historic register separately. That's kind of an updated list of historical homes based on the 1983 survey. Yeah, so if we can separate out those, that would be better.
Okay, thank you, Laura. We're going to move on to Public Works Committee items and Matt Yetto.
Okay, item number 21 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a contract with a contractor to construct a roof structure over the new fueling station at the water and sewer garage. It's required by stormwater regulations. We have one quote and we should have a second quote next week for the work. If we don't get a second quote, we'll pull the reso, but I'm confident we should get a second quote. 22 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign a contract for the installation of a vault and piping improvements at the Valerie Drive sewer pump station. We have one quote from one contractor, around $20,000, and I'm working on a second quote, and we should have that for the meeting for sure. 23 is the reso having to do with insert water valves. I'm gonna have that pulled for this month. We got an initial pricing and it looks like we're gonna have to go out to bid for that. So I'll have to push that to next month. 24 is a resolution authorizing fence agreements in our easements. This one is on Comanche Trail. It's a standard agreement allowing someone to put a fence in a drainage easement. Engineering office as well as the highway office both looked at it and we don't have an issue with it. 25 is similar. It's an agreement to place a shed in a stormwater easement on Windsor. As the one before, engineering and highway both looked at it. We don't have an issue. And 26 is another shed easement agreement. This one on Campbell Court. This is another drainage easement. They want to place a shed within the easement. It should not affect the use of that easement by the town, and we don't have an issue with that one either. 27 is a reso to approve the reconciliation for the residential and commercial utility billing for the second half of 2019. We have all the figures calculated and everything looks good. And I recommend we go ahead and approve that. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Matt.
All right, thank you.
We're going to move on to Police and Public Safety Committee items with Chief Wall.
So item 28 is a ceremonial resolution honoring NCAP, Niskayuna Community Action Program, for donating alcohol, illegal drugs, tobacco, and e-cigarette prevention signs for installation at the town parks. Item 29 is a resolution appointing a detective to the Niskayuna Police Department. That's going to be filling a vacant detective spot that we've had. And item 30 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Niskayuna Police Benevolent Association, and that's tentative. And that's it. Is there any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Chief Wall. We're going to go back to items 5, 6, and 7. So I'll yield the floor to Alexis Kim.
Okay, so 5 is, I mean, these are all hopeful. And Taylor, I'm sorry. Taylor wants to be on the screen.
There we go. Hi, Taylor.
Sorry, she gets mad when I wear the headphones, so you guys are gonna have to hear the background noise. So 5 is to just, there's a cell phone, when the town issues a cell phone to employees, we have like an outdated, antiquated policy in our handbook that we just recognize needs to be updated. So I'll work with Isma on that, and then it would just replace the one that's currently in the employee handbook. 6 is going to be collaborative effort, as well as 7 with Bill Lawrence, our system administrator. These are just required by statute, and they've been a hot topic of recent by the New York State Comptroller for audits, making sure that we have annually reviewed and adopted breach plans and data access. Hey, Taylor, what do you think? So yeah, though then I'm not sure if you covered updating item 4, which is just an update of a policy we did in March.
Yep. Yeah, we touched on that. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Taylor. Okay, are there any additions, questions, subtractions, or changes?
Just a question, are we doing the meeting at the end on September? I never sent everyone an email, but the executive order by Governor Cuomo allowing remote meetings is extended through October 7th. Is there a decision been made on whether the September 22nd town board meeting will be in person? Just because we do have that one public hearing that we might have to change the notice for if it's going to be remote.
That's a good question. I need to check if we have all of the safely 6 feet partitions. That we have enough for everybody.
Yeah, we do in my office.
Okay, all right, great. So we'll need to figure out the count for 50% capacity in the town boardroom. If we can accomplish that, move out the chairs and properly segment where the public would be, and then also figure out a protocol for how they will participate during privilege of the floor, whether we're going to continue to do that remotely, if we're going to have, people in attendance. We want to ensure their safety as they're approaching the dais and the microphone. So I'll have to think about that. So I'll have to touch base with both you, Alexis, and Charlie Bergami, who's our safety officer. If we can reasonably conduct the meeting in public with all of us present in a safe manner, then that would be great. But otherwise, with the revised EO, we can hold off until October, in which case we would probably hold our first public meetings to be our committee meetings in that case. So we roll those meetings out on a smaller scale and then work up towards town board meeting. But yet to be determined. So hopefully we can make those decisions this week or next, but I will keep you posted.
Just like as soon as our legally required public hearing notice already went out for the zoning code amendment. So that public hearing says it's in person at the town hall. So I mean, we can change it, but the more notice, obviously, the better. Otherwise, we might have to renotice that for the October meeting. So they just maybe let me know by the end of the week decision.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, great. Are there any other questions, additions, subtractions, or changes? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're now adjourned. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Bye, Taylor.
Thank you.
Bye, Taylor.
Good evening.